Hey everybody, it is Wintermute, and this is going to be a very opinionated piece about Disney and about Star Wars and about their most recent, or one of the most recent endeavors about Star Wars. Okay, let me say right off the bat, I'm not the world's biggest Star Wars fan. I love it for its cultural impact. They are good movies. The original three were good movies. Lucas deserves a lot of credit for creating them. It was not a fluke. He didn't just get lucky. He had a lot to do with that, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. He also deserves a lot of criticism for other aspects and other things he's done over the years. So I will give credit where credit is due. Star Wars is a good franchise. It's a good story. It's a good mythology story. It's not science fiction. It's mythology. That's another video. But I enjoy Star Wars. For the most part, I've played some of the video games. I enjoy them. I like the world for the most part. Some of the world that they've done in the more recent movies sucks, but in general, the world itself is actually an interesting world. But you know, I'm still not the world's biggest Star Wars fan, and if given the opportunity, there's a lot of other IPs that I would enjoy spending my time watching over Star Wars. But if you were to come to me and say, hey, we're designing a hotel based on Star Wars. Okay. I'm sure it will look cool, and I'm sure it'll have some droids running around and things like that. Oh, no. We're going to make it immersive. We're going to make it an experience, an event. My response to that would be, tell me more. This genuinely has me intrigued. Yeah, it's going to be interactive. There's going to be kind of a storyline and characters and kind of things you can do while at the hotel. All right, this sounds cool. This sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Tell me more. I want to know about this. And you know what? Even not being the world's biggest Star Wars fan, I'm sure I was in the same boat as a lot of other people who are way bigger fans than me. It's like, I'm excited. Let's see this. Let's hear it. Let's see how this is going to work. Because I have a background where I did do a lot of role playing. I did a lot of LARPing when I was younger. I've done LARPing at conventions. I've LARPed with the people who design games. The people who designed the game I was LARPing with. So that was a lot of fun. You know, I enjoy LARPing. If things had turned out differently in my life, I might have pursued a career in acting. I think I do have a knack for it. Whether I'm good or not is a whole other thing. But, you know, okay, great. Let's talk about it. Let's look at this. Is interesting to me for a variety of reasons. Okay, great. You start explaining it a little bit more. Okay, cool. And then, so Disney is doing just this with their Galactic Starcuiser resort. And now I'm assuming some of you have already heard about this. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about it. I will give a quick synopsis. They announced this. People got excited, just like I explained just now. It sounds like a cool idea. A couple details came out. People got more excited. People were pre-booking before this thing even broke ground. And then they come out and they do a couple-minute commercial where they're kind of presenting, hey, here's what it's going to look like. Here's what it's going to be. Here's, and they have the chief IP designer and then some actor from some show, running around kind of looking at stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. It starts off, okay, cool. Let's see. I really am kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Let's see what this is going to be like. Disaster. This was the most cringe commercial almost ever. I mean, this thing is going to go down in history. 20 years from now, Defunctland is going to be doing, well, not even 20 years from now, 2 years from now, Defunctland is going to be doing the YouTube channel Defunctland is going to be doing a video about this. I bet you anything. And it was a horrible commercial that absolutely destroyed the mystique of this. Showed what you were going to be getting, and people went, this is the best you can do, Disney? And people just started canceling their reservations. This thing was like $1,000 a night. I'm not exaggerating, like $1,000 a night. And people are just canceling it left and right. saying, nope, not my thing. This looks terrible. It really looks terrible. Not just below standard, not just like, I don't know. And you know, a lot of attractions have problems their opening day. Hell, Disneyland got panned the first day it opened because it was not fully finished and there was a lot of problems. Obviously, they bounced back. And you know, I would expect, okay, there's going to be problems when they open this. But this was complete garbage. So bad, people started canceling their reservations en masse. And Disney turns around and rips out that commercial and says, nope, never happened. And then they like won't talk about it. Of course, people got copies of the commercial and it's right back out there. And there's like scores of people doing videos about how bad it is. I'm just kind of touching on the overall story behind it. I'm going to go into something else here in a minute. But it boils down to Disney. So the concept of it is you enter the hotel, you get on an elevator, you through special effects, it looks like you're being shot into space. You dock with the battle cruiser, or the Starcuiser you're supposed to be staying on. So it's like a luxury liner. You're in the Star Wars universe, and your hotel is on a luxury liner in space, a luxury space cruiser liner thing, like the Titanic. I think some of you are already starting to see the problem. And I'll go into that a little bit more in a second. So, and then all the windows look out into space. So they're all going to be like, you know, TV monitors or something that's designed into the wall to make it look like you're in space. Okay, cool. But it is absolutely devoid of any sort of Star Trek aesthetic, or Star Wars aesthetic. It is, the hallways are lifeless and dead. There are it looks more new Star Trek than it does Star Wars. It is the events that they have you do are stupid. They talk about there's like a role-playing opportunities where you can like wander around the ship and look for people and interact with them, and basically they're characters, people playing characters, and there's like a plot line going on within this ship, and you can kind of like work for one of the different factions. That's kind of like, you know, there's some espionage things and subterfuge and clandestine operations going on the ship. And then you're supposed to be able to go to the control room and like help fly the ship or something. It's dumb. Go look this video up. It's was it Galactic Starcuiser Hotel, whatever. There's thousands of videos. So this is just a brief overview. Here's the kicker. And this is what shocks me. That the people who designed this could be so utterly tone deaf in what Star Wars fans really want. You're going to talk to me about an immersive experience and then you're going to give me this garbage? Why is this set on a luxury cruiser? Explain that to me. And I seriously, if I was sitting here with the chief designer, why did you put it on a luxury cruiser? Okay. And here was where this project was clearly flawed from the beginning. Okay. From the ground up, they said this is going to be a hotel that is Star Wars themed, so anybody can come stay here. That was their first mistake. What they needed to do was scale back the scope of the project and say, this is going to be a Star Wars experience that you can come and stay at. That's the only way it's going to work, in my opinion. That's the only way it's going to work, is it starts off as a Star Wars experience and you just happen to be able to stay there and rent or get a room there for a couple nights. Without that as being your core design philosophy, it's going to fail. Here's why. They want to be able to have families come here, and they want it to be all family friendly and have your kids there, and parents can still go do parent things. And I'm like, look, you've already messed it up. You've already broken the immersion. Okay, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay, kids. Okay, you've got to think this should not be marketed to everyday people. I know that sounds weird. This should be marketed to Star Wars fans. Real Star Wars fans. Okay? And believe me, that's still a huge pool of people to pull from. And I'm already saying you should scale back your initial investment and make it a little more focused and make it a little more, and maybe make it a little more exclusive. Get the revenue coming in, make sure it's success, and then you can expand it later. Okay? Because the immersion is immediately broken because it's a luxury liner. Who watches Star Wars and thinks to themselves, who watches these epic battles between good and the fundamental forces of good and evil, and this epic conflict, space opera going on, and who says to themselves, man, I wonder what life is like on that space cruiser over there, on that Starliner, on that luxury cruiser flying by. I wonder what life is like on that. Nobody fucking says that. That's not what people want. What they want is they want to relive the Battle of Hoth. Okay? They want to be there in the middle of the Clone Wars. Okay? They want to be there helping fight back the First Order. That's what they want. They don't wonder what a hotel in space looks like in the Star Wars universe. That's ridiculous. So right there, this entire concept is flawed from the beginning. Quite frankly, like I said, they should have scaled it back. 100 rooms maybe, and just conceptual design concept. Here's what it should be. And let's use the Battle of Hoth. Okay, that's a very well-known, famous scene and sequence from the Star Wars movies, and it is a cool battle. And they've made play sets out of it. I mean, people want to talk about the Battle of Hoth. I've seen Lego Battle of Hoth. There's a lot of cool aspects that I enjoy watching about that sequence in and of itself, even if I don't want to watch the whole movie. So think about it like this. So first off, the interior of the hotel is designed like it's on Hoth. Already, it takes on way more character and personality and color than the crap that they put on this Starliner. It's already, you make those walls look like they were drilled out of ice. Oh, of course, you don't actually make it cold. That would be uncomfortable. And quite frankly, it's in the middle of Florida. I mean, AC bills are already astronomical in Florida. Trust me, I live there. And, so already you've got a much more immersive environment. Okay. When you walk in, you tell people, this is immersive. Okay. Everybody you're talking to is in character. Okay. We're not just the hotel staff. We're in character. Okay. Already it's a different feel. And you can even have a transition hallway or room. Like you get in, you do the mundane stuff at the front lobby, the small front lobby. But then as you're walking back, you are reminded as you're walking back there, this is an immersive experience. This is more than just a hotel stay. Okay, yes, you're going to be staying here for the next week or couple days or whatever it is, but this is more than that. This is an immersive experience. So when you talk to somebody, okay, you're not talking to the bellhop. You're talking to a quartermaster, or you're talking to the technician, the X-wing technician, or whatever the case is. So what you do is you take mundane, you can like regular, jobs, and you give them that facade of the Star Wars universe. But these guys know we're in character. Okay, we still need to address guest problems. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But at the same time, you flavor it all with Star Wars. Okay, you still have the amenities in the room, like a standard bathroom, but the whole room looks like it's a hole in the wall drilled into the ice, bunker style, with nice beds and a television and modern television and all that other stuff, and the PlayStation for the kids and whatever else. But again, it's immersive. This is where you go when you don't want to be part of the storyline anymore. That's where you go. Okay? You either go there or you leave the hotel or experience. It really shouldn't even be called a hotel, it's an experience. You leave the experience, you kind of, okay, you're out of character. And you go out and you go do your grocery shopping, you go to the parks, you do whatever. You come back, you're going down that hallway that is going to remind you, we're going back in scene. We're going back into character. You slip back into character. Okay. You can even get a name tag made with the character that you envision yourself as. You know, things like that. Make it an experience. It's got to be an experience first and a hotel second. That is something Star Wars fans will react to. Okay, because if you make it a hotel and you try to get in people who aren't particularly Star Wars fans, they're not going to like it. And quite frankly, your average person isn't going to want to go here anyway. They may think it sounds cool, but they're not going to get it. So you're not marketing it to them. Okay, you're marketing to this is a ride. It's an experience. And to take it the next step further, they have these events you can do. Okay, well, and these storylines. Let's talk about the storylines first. There's a kind of theme park, I guess you'd call it, called Evermore Park in Utah. And this is all this is. It is like it's an ongoing LARP. It's a small theme park, medieval fantasy style, it's a LARP that anybody can just show up in. You don't have to show up in costume. You can if you want. You kind of create a character, so to speak. You can get a record, kind of a card. But the point is to go around and interact with people in the story, and they're kind of explaining what's going on. And they change the story throughout the year. They've got like 3 or 4 different cycles of stories that they go through, and it's constantly changing and evolving. And if I remember, I'll put a link to their website below. It is really impressive, the level that goes into this park, okay? This is what this experience should be modeled after. Disney should take a lesson from Evermore Park and model their experience after that, okay? Because that is an immersive ongoing storyline. But you are there for an immersive ongoing storyline first. Okay, that's what it's about. And here, in this hotel, you should be there immersed in this ongoing storyline first and a hotel second. You're just staying here. Okay, and if you want luxury digs, this is not the place for you. We're going to give you a good room. It's going to be a good value. But really, you're just going there to sleep and kick up when you're not out doing the experience. That's how they should have designed it. Number one. Number two, the events that you take part in. Oh, these are cringe. Lightsaber training. Go watch the video. This is about all it is. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. This is about all it is. This is your lightsaber training. I literally have games that are far funner and more interactive on my VR headset right now than this cringeworthy crap. Okay? And then what else do they have? Oh, you can like put the ship into hyperdrive. Oh, look. Stars moving really fast without any sort of G-forces being put on you. And they do show G-forces pushing them back when they go to hyperdrive. Okay, cool. No, this is dumb. Oh, and then they've got like a lounge with a bar singer. Again, this is not the right theme. A luxury Starcuiser in Star Wars is not the right theme to start with. This is terrible. How could they miss something so obvious? So let me tell you what they should do. And I am absolutely 100% confident my concepts are in fact doable and better than what Disney's putting out there. I guarantee. I'm usually pretty humble when I present a new idea. Like, look, I think it should be done this way for this reason. Here's my arguments why. I could be wrong. Not this time. Nope. I'm not pulling any punches. This is garbage. Let me tell you what they should have done. Think about the Battle of Hoth. And you can break down the Battle of Hoth into a bunch of different things. So, okay. They start to evacuate. Okay, they start to get pilots in the TIE fighters. There are guys, well, they've got not the TIE fighters, the X-Wings that have to actually escort the evacuees up. And then you have the fighter pilots that need to go out and run interference with the actual, AT-ATs and things like that. And then they have to go out and they actually have like the ground batteries firing into space, trying to, slow down the Imperial fleet from coming in. And then you have you actually have the ground combat, the guys out in the trenches actually shooting at AT-ATs and Imperial troopers coming at them. And you can break that down into a lot of different interactive scenes. And then what you do is you design an experience around that scene, like a miniature ride or CGI type experience around that particular aspect. And then you as the guest can sit there, and in the morning you can break it down in kind of a sequential thing, so it feels like an ongoing kind of story thing. And you can go to this experience first. And then you go do this experience, and then you go do this experience. You take a break for lunch. You go do this experience. You know what? That one was really fun. I'm going to go do that one again. So you do that one a couple times from a couple different angles, because they should have variables in them that make them different depending on how you play them. So people want to come back and play them more and ride them more. And then you finish it off with this, and you can do it sequentially, or once you've done it a couple times, you can just go to your favorite one, wait in the queue, and get in there. Okay, let's talk about what those should be. All right. So let's take right off the bat. There's so much obvious here that they can do. These little VR capsule things, like they have, like with the Mech Warrior video games, where you get in and it's immersive. There's actual buttons and shit. So you have a little cockpit thing like that. You have it set up off to the side where you have about a dozen of these things. Now they're designed in a way to make them practical, but it looks like you're running down this hallway and you're hopping into the cockpit seat, and then but it's obviously the facade is just to make it look like one of those like little, I don't know, triangle style fighters, the ground fighters that they use to go after the AT-ATs. And what you do is, you can do it one or two people. So you can go there with a friend of yours and one person, because that's how they had them. They had one guy in front, one guy in back. One guy in front was kind of the pilot. The other guy in back was kind of in charge of the weapon systems. So you can do that. Okay, this is stuff they already do at the parks. Easily do at the parks. Okay, you put the helmet on, but here's the immersion. You're in the queue, you're waiting to get in, and then a guy comes running out. He goes, "We got to get fighter pilots. Look, come with me." He grabs the next two people in the queue. He starts, walking them down real fast. He goes, "Look, I know you don't have any training. You're not a real fighter pilot, but we got to do this. Here's what we need. We need you to grab the controller." And he gives them this quick, like 30-second speech about how to control and fly the thing. Hurriedly, like, we've got no choice here. The pressure is on. You need somebody to be energetic and pull them in and actually get them to go, "Oh shit, yeah, there's something at stake here." Put them in there, and then you put them in the experience, and you have them in this, CGI cockpit thing, enclosed cockpit, flying around with actual, the seat pitching to represent the G-forces going around, and one guy can be the pilot, one guy can be the weapons person, with trying to trip them up. And the point is to actually go out and knock out as many of the walkers as you can. And how you approach that is between you and your co-pilot. And then you kind of can get a score at the end and things like that. And so you can kind of feel like there's some level of achievement there. But this should be like a 10-minute ride. And you can have about a dozen of these things running at any given time. You've got one or two people doing the immersion part. Okay, kind of like what they do with Neptune's Rage at Universal Studios. No, not Universal. Islands of Adventure, where the guy is coming out and kind of talking to you, then you move to the next room and you're like, "Oh, wow, that's really cool." And then he's talking some more, and then you go into the last room and it's this big auditorium, and I mean, it was a really, I had no idea what to expect going into that ride, but I really enjoyed it. Because it's a walking ride. I didn't know, like, what is this? But the actor kind of drew you in more and more. So there. Then what do? Well, now you've got the trenches. So now you got guys, you've got the same thing. You've got like a faux trench section that you and your buddy are supposed to defend. You've got AT-ATs coming out with you. You've got fighters. You have a selection of weapons to choose. This is CGI stuff, and this is video game stuff that they already do at the parks. I've played stuff like this at the parks. And Disney Quest, the arcade, they already have things like this. This would be easy for them to do. I mean, obviously, they would want to make it look, they would want to update it from the stuff at Galaxy or Disney Quest. That stuff's a little dated, but it's still good. It's still fun to play, even though it's dated. Now, it's been a while since I've been there. Maybe it doesn't work so well anymore. But again, now you're in the trenches. You have a lot of options. You and your buddy back to back, or maybe up to 4 or 5 people. You know, you're all in this extended trench. It's a nice big round CGI screen, so you're immersed. And the same thing, just, you know, you got the guy coming out, grabbing the next 5 people in the queue. We need this trench defended. And you put some backstory. Look, if this trench falls, then that's, and you can even have a tactical map up here. Look, you're defending this trench here. If this trench collapses, it's going to cause this trench's flank to be open. They're going to overrun, cut off our supplies. We're going to be surrounded. Give it stakes. Make it feel cool. Immerse you in the experience, and then get you in there. And again, there's different weapons, different tactics you can employ. Some guy could be on the heavy, the actual heavy, you know, blaster. Other people are kind of like the AA, trying to take down the fighters. You know, and you can, each time you do it, you can do a different mix of weapons. Hey guys, let's put 2 flat guns up this time, and everybody else just take the small arms. Let's see if that works better, and let's beat our score from last time. Yes! That would be awesome! Okay? And then you keep going. And then what's the next thing they can do? They can do an event where, okay, kind of like with the fighters taking out the AT-ATs. Okay, you're the escaping frigates. So you've got one person whose dedicated job is to pilot the frigate. The other person's job is weapons. So they're like you're up here, they're underneath you, and they're in that you know, kind of quasi 360-degree bubble thing, you know, and they're spinning around, and you're actually piloting you're trying to dodge shots. You can even put in a third person whose job is logistics, and they are there to control energy control. Look, I need more power to the weapons. Hey man, we keep on getting hit. I'm trying to keep these shields up, but let me go ahead and cut off our thrusters and send some more energy down to your weapons. And now your weapons will do more damage for the next next 2 minutes. But I may need to steal it back to get these shields back up and running. How is that not? That's an exciting idea. And there's already VR games that do this. There's a Star Trek VR game that kind of does this. And I'm like, I want to play that game. I'm not going to play it now because I know it's very buggy. It's still very early in its development. But this should be nothing for Disney to develop this sort of thing. And all I'm saying is you only need about 12 of these pods of up to 2 or 3 people. And that there are other things you can do as well. Okay, you can have about at least 5 different mini rides. And the sort of thing, like I said, the guests probably have the guests who are staying there have a priority queue. Other people should be able to show up and do it because they just want to do it. But the people in the priority queue, because they're staying at the hotel, they're part of the storyline, they're going to get first dibs. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. But again, this Starliner thing is, quite frankly, it was a failure from the beginning. And even if they tried to implement what I'm talking about in terms of individual, highly immersive, highly energetic events to go experience, at this point, I don't think they won't succeed. Because the entire concept from its beginning was flawed. And I would absolutely put my concept up against Disney's concept in terms of viability, in terms of energizing the fan base. I stand by, I really stand by this. I'm not even a huge Star Wars fan, and I get excited about talking about this and the potential that this has. And like I said, I don't think it's as cost intensive as it sounds, because a lot of the technology is already out there. It's just, and the thing with technology of this type and these type of immersion games, gameplay is more important than graphics. And that's one thing a lot of people forget. I don't give a shit how good the new Battlefield what the F ever is. If it can look as good as it wants, if it ain't fun to play, it ain't fun to play. And I know there are older editions of that game that people prefer to play because it's funner. It's a better designed game. So when it comes to designing something like this, your priority is not realism when it comes to graphics. It is experience and playability. That's more important. And I think that is something that Disney is missing. Another concept that they're missing is excitement is more important than actually graphics. Of course, having awesome graphics helps immerse you even further, but the immersion is the experience less than the graphics themselves. So yeah. I wanted to do this video because I was so shocked that Disney is so tone deaf to this. I mean, I shouldn't be. I mean, I have like zero expectations, and they've literally gone into the negatives when it comes to Disney's handling of Star Wars at this point. Because let's face it, The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, that's not really even Disney. That's that Favre guy, who's in charge of that. I can't think of his full name right now. That's really him pushing that. And I'm pretty sure he's running interference, and Disney's like, oh, let's do this. And he's like, yeah, leave it to me. And he's got enough clout where they'll say, you know, we'll leave it to you. Because I think Disney can do that. They do know how to do that. They did it with Spider-Man No Way Home. You know what, Sony? You've done a good job. We're going to give you this one. And Sony fucking hit a home run with No Way Home. Absolutely. They hit a home run with No Way Home. And so Disney's like, you know what? Yeah, we're just going to sit this one out and let you guys do what you do. So I am shocked at this utter failure on Disney's parts before I even experience it. And quite frankly, I won't even go at this point. I mean, I can't even afford it. Okay. What I'm suggesting, though, I honestly believe would be more affordable, would hit the target audience way better, would be far more successful, invigorate this to be a concept that they can develop further in the future, rather than having it fall flat on its face. I absolutely stand by this, that what I am proposing is by and far better than what Disney is trying to do, and would be more successful than what Disney is trying to do. I stand by that. I'm not even remotely going to try to be humble here. Okay, I stand by it. And I would be shocked if I was wrong. Yeah. So anyway, this is just, I was so shocked at all this. I just wanted to do this video and get this out there and get it out of my system. Because, you know, I don't know, maybe some Disney exec will watch this and go, yeah, you know what, he's got some good points. Let's look into that. They'll screw it up at this point. I believe they will. But yeah, there it is. There it is. Disney's most epic, might be their, it's probably not their biggest failure, but it might be their most dramatic failure, to be quite honest. Yeah, which is a shame. So, all right, I'm done solving the world's problems for today. This is Wintermute out.